Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our talk show Maachen Punkt. I'm Dimitra and I will be your host for tonight. So, our topic for today is right to life, liberty and security. My team has prepared a video, so let's have a look. Now we are back. We have a special guest with us. She's the right person to discuss this topic, so please welcome Sue Schmidt. Sue is a project manager at the UP Foundation with educational background in social and cultural anthropology and sustainable development to foster social impact. So, Sue, can you tell us a little more about yourself?
Yes, of course. I work with UP Foundation for 4 years now, mostly on political education, so working close with municipalities, gathering everyone around education so that the child is at the center. And projects, so the projects I'm doing, project management is basically empowerment projects, so that we enter in municipalities, do empowerment projects with everyone around, and having also education as more than just school. Education happens all the time and everywhere, and yeah, that's what we do.
Okay, thank you so much. So let's move on to our first question. Since the beginning of your career, what improvements have you seen in the field of human rights?
Since I started, so that is 4 years ago, actually quite a lot has happened. I am looking mostly at the point of view from like children and youngsters. So human rights is of course for everyone, but if I look in Luxembourg for children and youngsters, let's see. I mean, internationally, you have the Children's Rights Convention that was ratified by every country in the world, except unfortunately for one, which is the United States. So there, a lot has happened still, and you still have the legal power to protect children and youngsters, for example. Well, you can go on with that, take it to Luxembourg, where you see that this Children's Rights Convention was also put into a national plan of action, which is always being reformed, like kind of what else can we improve. You have also in terms of like legal help, the Ombudsman for children and youth rights, where, for example, as young persons that are unaccompanied have much more support, or also legal support. So in that sense, like a lot has happened, and I would say the main part where you can really see an improvement is that especially children and youngsters are meanwhile asked for their opinion. They can join like in participation measures. It's always a tricky one. Like, for example, when it comes to decision making, when it comes to asking the opinion of how they live in their environment, what could be improved. Meanwhile, they are considered also as people with an opinion that is important and it can shape the environment. So that is a really cool thing I've seen in the last few years.
It's really impressive how they actually have been improvements. So do you have any expectations for the future, maybe to be like a lot better?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of in Luxembourg, I could say that Yeah, I would actually rather have the whole society have more responsibility again for youngsters and for children. That's one of my main goal, or Up Foundation's main goal also, because it means that education is happening all the time and everywhere, and not only in one spot. And like if you have society helping out, if you have municipalities helping out, and taking kids as future inhabitants of, for example, municipalities, that's super cool and important. And that also means that people, young people, feel more engaged again in society afterwards. So I think that's one of the things I would really want to push forward even more. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. We continue with the next video that the team has prepared, so let's see it.
So today we are talking about human rights. Human rights are very important. Can you please all repeat with me, human rights? Human rights. Very well.
You're under arrest right now. Get up. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Hey, stop. We just learned about that. According to Article 3 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, everybody has the right to liberty, life and security. You can't just arrest her like that. You have to read her rights.
Okay, so the question is, the violations of this right have become something normal in our society. How can our educational system improve in a way that benefits young people?
That is actually a very good question. I think you have to kind of fetch it further out. As you say, a lot is happening that moves really against human rights at the moment in the world. On almost every continent, I would say. And what has to be done, I think, like I said before, seeing education as something broader. I don't think when we talk about education that we should put the only responsibility on teaching about human rights and children's rights only in schools. I think it goes broader than that, because rights come together like with values, with helping each other, with not discriminating anyone, with having accessibility for everyone who may have a physical or a mental handicap. And if you only teach children that in school, maybe they take it forward, which is great, and it is an absolute must that things like empathy, soft skills are being taught in school, but they should also be taught outside. Like if you involve furthermore, like more of the community, also in non-formal education, the same thing is done, which is already a huge step forward. They are already talking about it. They're trying to involve children more. They're trying also to teach what is happening in the world and why. So basically, democratic basis, political education is a big part of it, where we have the Center for Political Education in Luxembourg, which are also doing a great job with that. So it's kind of everyone has to factor in and work together. And if you involve it, for example, in a municipality, municipality says, okay, these are our children and youngsters living here, and we also want to help them, and basically the values we want to teach also have to reach the parents, for example, because then you have much more of like empowerment, also from like this bottom-up empowerment. And that can have then, like in future, it has much more impact in terms of everyone kind of knows the values that are being taught in human rights, and people actually fight for it because they know it's the right thing. So yeah, in short, I would say still teach human rights in school, but in terms also of not only as a theoretical thing,
but taking action.
Taking action, doing projects together, like really feel human rights in action. Getting out of the bubble, like of the maybe safe classroom, but actually doing projects, I don't know, maybe in a refugee home. I'm throwing ideas out, which is being done a lot already, but it's really the way forward. I believe. And also not neglecting kind of the truth or the reality that is that the human rights are really being, taken the wrong way, taken down in many parts of the world. So really, by improving these participatory actions, you also improve the democratic understanding. And through having a democratic understanding, you can say, okay, I do not want this in my country or in my surroundings. So you actually make yourself strong for it.
Okay, thank you so much for your answer. We mentioned that you are part of the UP Foundation, so can you tell us a little more how does your organization support children who migrate to Luxembourg on the topic of education?
I have to say, at UP Foundation we work with all kinds of children, so we don't, and this is important to mention this correctly, we don't only focus on vulnerable kids, which is important because by only focusing there, you also tell the kids that there is a difference. So we take the kids where they are and where they are all together, and in Luxembourg that is the school system. So they are all in school. Many are also in non-formal education, for example, in daycares, in youth houses, for example. And so our projects reach them by we take them out of those institutions and make on a big project that is at the center in a municipality. So they all come together there. Then we have other projects, for example, a tandem project it's called, which really also tries to do a peer-on-peer, which means you have an adult and a voluntary person that actually kind of matches with a child that wants to have, not taught different things, but that takes the child by the hand and say, let's discover the world a bit together. Let's discover which other horizons there are. And that can be kind of an emotional support. It can be another person you have in your life, because many children with refugee background, basically, many relationships were ruptured because they lost people. And like this, you can kind of take them by the hand and give them another person that they can become friends with at some point, and also have this kind of get back into society, kind of, I would say. That is one of the things we can do and how we do it. Yeah.
If you could, would you add anything at your organization? Did you like more?
To do more? I think you can always do more, and I would love to do many more things. I think we could, for example, if we would focus even more on children or youngsters with migrational background, then I would do it in the network with many actors that are here in Luxembourg already focusing on this area, and then do something big together, which already is usually how we work, but I think you could take this as a main theme also. Yeah.
Okay, so let's go to the audience. They can ask questions if they want. So does anyone have a question?
Hi, hello. You talked about teaching children about human rights outside of classrooms. That's important as well. Do you think that we should focus on teaching children the harsh reality of human rights being taken away, or do you think we should do a more idealistic approach to human rights? Thank you.
Thank you for your question. That is actually a very good one. I would say we don't have to teach children the harsh reality of human rights being taken away because they see it and they understand it. You can explain it further. You can explain what is happening and where the mistake is in it, so they understand that it's not good that exactly this right is being taken away, for example. there are, of course, rights where it is very, very tricky to show them the harsh reality because there would be trauma with it. I'm talking here also about sexual harassment, stuff like that. Of course, you can teach those things differently. You can teach what is your body is yours and no one else should touch it, and not kind of show them maybe how that looks, because that would have devastating consequences for the children. But in terms of like what conflicts are happening in the world, why they are happening, I mean, there you can teach kind of history, reality, and what's the problem with it, why that is a problem, and also kind of show them the consequences of, maybe there are, because of these conflicts, many people that don't have a home anymore, that have to migrate. So how can we help those? And then you have kind of a more holistic understanding, I think, of human rights as itself, and you go into action. You bring the positive by doing something positive. And that is, I think, also how later children, but also people, will continue helping and interacting correctly because they understood it from before, kind of.
Okay, so we have one more question.
Hi.
Hi.
So I was curious about what motivated you to work in this field.
What motivated me? As you know, my background, I always had, I studied cultural and social anthropology, so I'm very, very interested in cultural relations between people of different cultures and how so much is misunderstood often. Very random things of, you're from somewhere, the other one is from somewhere, and you try to greet, and maybe the other person feels this already as disrespectful because you're coming way too close. In that culture, it's not, for example, a given that you do it like that. And that is something that really interests me. And it comes with a lot of communication, and it comes with a lot of awareness of your surroundings and of other people and of respect for other people. And I think that is something that is kind of, let's say, missing slowly in our society. These kind of social skills, these kind of soft skills that make everything happen in the first place. So I had always that, and I always wanted kind of to bring that further, empower by bringing soft skills into the mix. And then I also have this, I'm very interested in sustainable development, everything that is sustainability in general. And I do believe that if we want to change something, something for the better for this world, we also have to start early and say why. For that they had the interest of, okay, let's do something for younger people because they are the sunshine, and also adults can do something, but that gave me the motivation for working with youngsters. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for your questions and your participation, and thank you, Sue, for coming here, for your time, for your answers. It was really a pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
So that was it for today's episode. For maachen Punkt. I'm Dimitra. I was your host for tonight. Thank you for watching and hope to see you on the next episode. Goodbye.